Prompter. Prompter.
We shall continue with the work to transform the sector, keeping in mind our high population growth rate, financial challenges, and security issues.
Trust and confidence demonstrated in election victory will not be taken for granted. President Buhari reassures progressives in the academia.
For those that have been confirmed by the Senate, they must be prepared to work with the Senate and indeed the National Assembly.
Senate confirms 43 ministerial nominees, proceeds on annual recess. President Buhari opens defense at Presidential Election Petitions Court. Plus, voices for stringent measures against human traffickers get louder as the world commemorates Day Against Trafficking. Hello, good evening and welcome to NTN Network News tonight. I'm Joseph Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Also reading with me from Lagos is Dr. Oguyemi, and of course from Jos is Mariam Adura. President Muhammadu Buhari says the overwhelming victory recorded by the governing APC in the last elections was a clear statement of resolve by Nigerians not to return to the dark days of impunity and corruption. Receiving in audience a delegation of progressives in academics on a solidarity visit, the president reassured them that their trust and confidence will neither be taken for granted nor be in vain. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Education remains a top priority for our government.
In the last 4 years, President Muhammadu Buhari said over 1 trillion naira has been injected into the education sector through various interventions. This is in addition to the payment of earned academic allowances to lecturers, homegrown school feeding program, and other social investment initiatives that encourage enrollment and retention in public primary schools.
In the next 4 years, we shall continue with the work to transform the sector, keeping in mind our high population growth rate, financial challenges, and security issues, especially in those conflict-affected areas. Simply put, our progressive agenda can only be sustained if we have an educated and skilled society. Therefore, we have no choice but to produce more engineers, technicians, doctors, nurses, and teachers.
The president, who thanked members of the progressives in academics for sustaining their trust and confidence in his leadership, promised to continuously consult with them in the onerous task of nation building. The progressives in academics, led by Bolariwa Bolaji, had earlier presented to the president some proposals on the best way forward for Nigeria in respect of some critical economic sectors. These are in the areas of education, the fight against insecurity and corruption, judiciary, economy, as well as reduction in cost of governance.
In the area of security, we are proposing that there will be enactment of policy on policing the police, so that when they are policed effectively, then the corruption that is there will can be arrested. On judicial reforms, we are proposing that instead of having one shift in our law courts, we can implement 2 shifts so that there will be quick delivery of justice. On the power sector, we are proposing that the Mr. President go ahead quickly to implement what the whole Nigerian knows that you want to do on that power sector by reviewing the sale of power distribution companies. In the oil and gas sector, we are calling on you to implement quickly to what the whole Nigerians know that you want to do by revoking oil well licenses given to individuals and hand them over to state government, other than having the common patrimony of Nigerians be taken by some few individuals. If it is taken by the state government, it will be better.
The progressives in academics, comprising mainly members of the academia, believe in President Muhammadu Buhari, support his ideals, and willing to contribute to the success of his administration through consultancy services and formulation of result-oriented policies for consideration. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed the conviction that if the late MKO Abiola had been allowed to rule Nigeria, the unfortunate religious and tribal issues now besetting the country could have been prevented. The president stated this while granting audience to the elders and leaders of thought from Ogun State. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The elders and leaders of thought from Ogun State, led by Governor Dapo Abiodun, were in the State House to formally thank President Muhammadu Buhari for the honor done to the late MKO Abiola, an indigene of the state. The Buhari presidency not only posthumously conferred on him the highest national honor of the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, but also named the Abuja National Stadium after him for his ultimate sacrifice in enthroning democracy.
Mr. President, you have done us a great honor. Mr. President, you have demonstrated in unambiguous terms that you are a true Democrat. Let me once again assure you that the government and the good people of Ogun State will continue to collaborate, support, and cooperate with your administration at the federal level to ensure that the dividends of democracy and benefits of good governance get to the generality of the people of Nigeria. We are committed to giving priority to the people as focus of our administration. We will rekindle the hope of the people and reawaken their belief in their government. That is the best memorial we could ever give MKO.
The delegation consequently presented a big talking drum to the president as a mark of honor and appreciation. They used the opportunity to solicit for the rehabilitation of some federal roads as well as other critical infrastructure in the state.
We appreciated his effort in the railway, which has been hub of economic situation in the past. He has restored it. The express road, which is the live wire between Lagos, the ports, and the entire country, is ongoing. We've also requested for the Shagamu-Bini express road and also requested for the Shagamu interchange to Ilaro. So many things were put before the president, and I'm happy.
President Muhammadu Buhari described the late MKO Abiola as a destabilized Nigerian and a bridge builder who had good intentions for the country.
If Abiola has survived and became the leader of this country, the religious and the tribal politics of Nigeria wouldn't have been as strong as it eventually became, because this Muslim ticket and majority-minority tribe, you know, because of his personality and I think commitment, he crushed it. If he was allowed to survive, we would have gone over our worst problem in this country. He used his resources and energy, you know, to convince the whole of Nigeria that he was a Nigerian and all he wanted is a solid Nigeria, nothing else.
President Buhari said he decided to name the Abuja National Stadium after the late politician in order to keep alive his memories in the minds of the nation's future leaders. Former governor of the state, Benga Daniel, as well as some children of the late MKO Abiola, including his first son, Kola Abiola, were part of the delegation. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In a related development, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has again called on the elite on the task of nation building, stressing that the numerous challenges could be stones for a united and prosperous country. The Vice President said this in a lecture titled "Promoting National Unity is Promoting Progress and Prosperity," organized to mark the 70th anniversary of the Lagos Country Club. State House correspondent Jidoni Fade reports.
The nation is facing challenges that are testing the bonds of its fraternity, unity, and shared humanity. And perhaps the worst threat, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo notes, is from those who would use these challenges to sow discord and division.
Nation building is the task before us, and it's not only a task for those of us in government, it is for all of us. We must create spaces and institutions that nurture a higher sense of inclusion and commonality. Whether in and out of politics, we have a duty to mobilize people in the name of something much higher, much nobler, much greater than petty, self-serving agendas and parochial, divisive and chauvinistic causes. As elites, we have a responsibility to see our various subnational constituencies not as small, mutually alienated fragments, but as elements with which we can forge the sort of grand cohesion that will truly transform our potential into progress and prosperity.
The Vice President observed that it has become commonplace for people to define Nigerians' diversity as uniquely problematic, describing the notion as unfounded and it must be rejected.
Our federation will never be perfect. Nothing organized by human beings will ever be. But we must work a better union. We must work a better nation. A fairer, a more equitable, a more just arrangement is possible. We can do better. But that must come from accepting that unity is ultimately more beneficial to all of us. That unity cannot be justly negotiated under duress. Every group must first accept the notion that unity is a desirable option.
The Lagos Country Club anthem substantiates this by saying that together we shall make it greater. In Lagos, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
From the National Assembly, the Senate has confirmed the 43 ministerial nominees transmitted to it by President Muhammadu Buhari. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports that the Senate urged them to give in their best to the Nigerian project.
On Tuesday, the 23rd of July 2019, the Senate received executive communication from President Muhammadu Buhari requesting the confirmation of 3 ministerial nominees. 7 days after intense legislative work, the screening is done and dusted by the Legislative Chamber and nominees confirmed. This followed the screening of the remaining 3 nominees, Sabo Nanono from Kano State, Lai Mohammed Kwara and Saleh Maman from Taraba State. They presented their pedigree and plans for the Nigerian people.
My career in the financial institution, both development and commercial, ran a space of about 17 years.
The case of our roads is something very pathetic.
First, I want to thank Mr. President, President Muhammadu Buhari, for this nomination.
The immediate past Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, assured Nigerians of doubling his efforts.
My pledge to Mr. President and Nigeria is that if I'm confirmed as a minister, I will redouble my effort in the service of my country to justify its confidence in me.
For those that have been confirmed by the Senate, the message is they must be prepared to work with the Senate and indeed the National Assembly. As we are prepared to work with the executive arm of government, they are the implementers of government programs and projects.
Out of the 43 nominees, 14 of them are returning ministers, 7 are women. Senate adopted a report of its committee on a dosed House of Assembly crisis and resolved to take over legislative activities of the State Assembly if the governor does not issue a fresh proclamation for inauguration within 1 week, as it condemned the recent attack at Ngzei local government area of Borno State and urges government to deploy more security personnel to Borno North, as moved by Senator Abdullahi Kyari.
Clerk to the Edo State of Assembly should, in line with previous practice, formally inform all the 24 members-elect of the inauguration of the State House of Assembly upon receiving the proclamation letter through media adverts in both print and electronics.
Approximately about 2 weeks ago again, a village in Ganze local government called Badu. There was a funeral procession in that village, and the insurgents attacked and killed over 65 persons at one time.
Thereafter, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, announced the composition of 69 standing committees and their chairman. Senator Adedayo Adeye is chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, while Senator Danladi Sankara is chairman, Senate Committee on Information.
And with this, we are set to engage with the executive arm of government and we'll start our legislative work as soon as we are back.
The Senate has adjourned to 24th of September 2019 for its annual recess. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
The presidency has commended the Senate on its diligence in the screening of President Buhari's 43 ministerial nominees in a swift and efficient process, describing the Ninth Assembly as a fine and committed group of individuals working towards a secure, prosperous and corrupt-free nation. Garba Shehu, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, in a statement said the executive will approach the Ninth Assembly with openness, enthusiasm and a robust collaboration. The statement further stressed that specific portfolios will be assigned to the ministers in anticipation that the new partnership with the legislature will unleash the change Nigerians deserve. Hello, let's turn to the judiciary now, where President Muhammadu Buhari has opened his defense before the Presidential Election Petition Court sitting in Abuja. President Buhari, through his counsel, Wole Olanipekun-San, is defending his victory in the February 23, 2019 polls as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Dele Atumbi reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission is the first respondent, while President Muhammadu Buhari is the second respondent in the petition, where the People's Democratic Party and its candidate Atiku Abubakar are challenging his victory in the presidential election. The All Progressives Congress is the third respondent in the matter. In defending his mandate, as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, President Muhammadu Buhari, through his lead counsel, Wole Olanipekun SAN, tendered several documents, including the certified true copy of his school leaving certificate from Katsina Provincial Secondary School in 1961. Though the counsel to the petitioners, Livi Uzogu SAN, objected to the admissibility of the documents, counsel to INEC Usman Ustaz SAN and that of APC Latif Agbemi SAN did not object to the admissibility of the tendered documents. The five-man presidential election petition court led by Justice Mohammed Garba admitted all the documents in evidence. After the admissibility of the documents, Wole Olanipekun SAN, counsel to President Muhammadu Buhari, commenced the calling of witnesses with Major General Paul Tafa, who was enlisted alongside President Muhammadu Buhari in the Nigerian Army in April 16, 1962, as the first witness. General Tafa testified before the court that the medium of communication and instruction during the course of study in the military was English language. One of the classmates of President Muhammadu Buhari, Isa Maradua, also testified that they attended Katsina Provincial Secondary School. The Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, also told the Presidential Election Petition Court that he was the one that collected the Cambridge International Education Assessment Certificate on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, which is one of the documents that have been admitted in evidence. President Muhammadu Buhari has 5 more days to defend his victory before the Presidential Election Petition Court.
The person you said had no certificate, he tendered his certificate from Cambridge. So that has been put to rest. And then his classmates testified with the photograph they took with English instructors.
Their own witness confirmed our own case. So what is left?
Hearing on the matter continues on Wednesday, 31st July 2019. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
7 kidnapped victims along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway regain freedom. Details when we return.
Get 5 times recharge with *555*PIN#.
Make I sell my market finish first, eh? I will call you back. Oh.
Glow Unlimited.
Ronaldo na the highest. Ronaldo na the highest champion. Me on the second. If you check with, if you look at it like this.
Mini-me, taste the fun.
Does Pick now have Pick 4, 5, 6?
Yes, Mom. It's for Bella.
Why does she have her own milk?
Mama,
She's still growing, especially her brain. She needs the right nutrients to help her grow strong and smart.
90% of brain development happens in the first 5 years of life. Like plants need certain nutrients to grow, kids need the right nutrients to grow up strong and smart. Peak 456 with DHA is specially formulated for children 4 to 6 years old to support brain development. Get them ready for what's ahead with Peak 456 with DHA to help them grow up strong and smart.
Now available in new pack and 16-gram sachet.
I feel alive, so alive when I'm with my best friends, indulging my G exotic. Nothing makes my drink more than when the mixer is delightful G exotic. And after a long day, I wanna relax with the taste of my G exotic. I love the taste of G exotic. I love the taste of celebration. Love the taste of G.
I love the taste.
G exotic nectar. I love the taste.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, if it's not Indomie, don't call it Indomie.
Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles. The difference is the taste.
Taste is the difference.
Yes, difference is in the taste. Nothing tastes like my Indomie.
Indomie Super Pack, now available at 85 Naira. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good.
Can your milk do this?
Can your milk do this? Mine can.
With Hollandia evaporated milk, your ice cream, custards, and variations of beverages taste pleasantly different. Hollandia evaporated milk. Life tastes different.
Hollandia.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Thank you for staying with the NTA. The National Governing Council of the new Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD, has been inaugurated in Abuja with a charge to the 15-member council to immediately initiate Nigeria's second peer review process. Mitari Kwen reports that Permanent Secretary, Ecological Funds Office Habiba Lawal stood in for Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, at the Council's inauguration.
Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD, which has metamorphosed into the African Union Development Agency, was conceived in 2001 as an economic development program to eradicate poverty and accelerate empowerment of women and youth through peer review mechanisms. The inauguration of this National Governing Council for NEPAD is coming 11 years after Nigeria's first self-assessment report in 2008.
I implore you, your council, to hit the ground running to conduct Nigeria's second peer review self-assessment report to ensure professionalism, credibility, and independence of the entire process.
With government's economic recovery and growth plan running along with various social investment programs, evaluating the impact of these policies on the masses is part of the council's mandate.
What have we been able to achieve? Have we made some milestones, or we have made some headways? If that is not what we have seen, in other words, we need to rejig it again.
This will enhance
already what the present administration is doing to ensure that there is quality delivery of good governance to the people of Nigeria.
The NEPAD Council, chaired by Senator Abba Ali, with members drawn from various walks of life, is also expected to evaluate domestication of the sustainable development goals in the country. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Former ambassador and Nigeria's permanent representative at the United Nations, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, has advocated the use of dialogue as the only solution to resolving issues and matters around security and coexistence in the country. Professor Gambari gave the suggestion at the opening ceremony of a two-day roundtable discussion organized by the Abdul Salami Abubakar Institute for Peace and Sustainable Development Studies, held at the Maizube Farms, Niger State. Dauda Muhammad reports that the round table drew participants from across the country.
The two-day roundtable discussion is the center's contribution to the search for solutions to some of the problems currently being experienced in the country. Participants are drawn from diverse ethnic, religious, and regional divides, with emphasis on elders of the various groups as well as platforms. Convener of the roundtable and former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, noted that Nigeria is going through a period of trial amidst growing tension and resentment, which require that certain individuals must live up to expectations of a nation that puts so much value in elders and leaders.
The elders, the citizens, the young ones, who have a stake in this country, let us come and discuss our experience and find a solution. Fighting in the newspapers or in the social media will not solve the problem.
Chairman of the roundtable, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, whose message was presented, and others are all of the opinion that the discussion is timely and necessary for charting a course for the country.
We must find the things that unite us. We must build a national consensus around a set of values of progress, of peace, of unity, and of justice.
Nigeria is going through a trying period, and we the elders feel that we should, it's about time we sit together, appraise the situation, see the depth to which it has sunk, and see how we can bring things back on an even keel.
This is a good sign when members of the thinking elite meet and start to talk to each other.
The military cannot solve problems because the problems are political.
A communique at the end of the meeting is expected to be made available to every federal, state, and other relevant institutions for possible consideration on further action. In Mina, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Democracy will hold no meaning if it does not deliver on the dividends, with security serving as most critical. These are the words of the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja Diocese, John Cardinal Onayekon, in a media briefing to mark his 50th anniversary as a Catholic priest. Mamso Demendati reports.
Nigeria has been grappling with kidnappings, armed banditry, intercommunal clashes, insurgent attacks, and other threats. Though government has been doing much to contain them, Septuagenarian John Cardinal Onayekon is advocating more from government, groups and individuals. At this briefing to mark his 50 years as a priest, he recalls the conception of Nigeria and her struggle to maturity, wondering what has gone wrong.
Whatever democratic system you have on ground will be judged by how it delivers good governance. And good governance is described in terms of the common good of everybody, an atmosphere of peace and tranquility. Security is in a minimum level of human dignity for all citizens.
The 75-year-old Catholic Archbishop therefore made these recommendations for a better nation.
Our nation's greatness will be judged by how we treat our poorest and weakest members.
Other activities have been lined up to mark Onayekon's golden anniversary as a priest. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
Still on security matters, though on a continental level, creating laws and opportunities for the youth to engage in fruitful economic activities would reduce incidences of violent conflict in Africa. This is the observation of participants at a workshop on violent conflicts and private economic activities in sub-Saharan Africa. Olabode Arewa has more.
Recent studies by the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution identified violent conflict as one of the defining features of the African continent. Erosion of the livelihoods of communities where such conflicts occur often leads to the displacement of people. Thomas Osiali and Floride Aitungie have been studying the effect of violent conflict on Africa's development.
There seems to be overall quite a remarkable resilience of micro-enterprises, which can be used as a leverage.
Now we are trying to connect the economic actors, creating the networking between stakeholders, economic actors.
They join others at this forum to examine strategies for mitigating conflict through community empowerment. Nigeria is identified as a model for positive economic growth, despite the presence of violent conflicts.
No adequate research attention have been paid to small-scale businesses, particularly household businesses, and how they survive during conflict.
Among solutions being proffered is sustainable framework for resolving conflict in African communities. In Abuja, NTA News.
In the meantime, the presidency, in an appraisal of the fight against terrorism, says it is evident that the Boko Haram terrorists have been degraded and defeated. In a statement by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the President, Garba Shehu, the federal government says the real Boko Haram is defeated, remaining only a mixture of remnants of the Boko Haram, fugitive criminals and the Islam in Maghreb, together with West African terrorists bonding together. This, the statement says, is a fallout of the collapse of the Libyan state and the Islamic State in Iraq, Syria and Lebanon. They are taking advantage of our porous Sahelian borders. This explains the increase of trans-border crimes and the proliferation of small arms in the Lake Chad Basin area, with outrages in Niger, Mali, Chad and Cameroon. Garba Shehu says the Nigerian government under President Muhammadu Buhari has made the country safer than he met it in 2015, when Boko Haram terrorism was active in nearly half the number of states in the country. Terrorism activities, he says, have been confined to the remote, rural, agrarian areas of Borno State and pockets of outrages in Adamawa and Yobe states. The armed forces, he explains, have responded proactively with procurement of necessary equipment to keep them in good fighting shape. Government is optimistic that ISWAP terrorism will be defeated in the same way the military defeated Boko Haram. Meanwhile, a new research by the African Peace Building Network and the Center for Democracy and Development has found out that dialogue is needed, among other factors, to resolve farmer-herders clashes. Saliu Abdullahi reports that the research done through the African Continent Research Team has participants drawn from 5 African countries.
The devastation to both human and material resources as a result of conflict between herders and farmers in Africa and Nigeria in particular has generated topic of discourse at various fora. However, adopting a historical approach towards changing the trajectory for peace building through a research is the latest measures taken to end the crisis. 5 African countries, Nigeria, Togo, Cameroon, Burkina Faso and Sudan, all presented researchers to cross-fertilize findings and validate terms for adoption, which is geared towards ending the crisis. The report is expected to be made public before the end of the year.
For example, the question of climate change and environmental scarcity came out very powerfully, almost across all the case studies that we explored.
I found out there is a particular point or a new development in Togolese situation. It is that the ECOWAS set rules for the transhumance across West Africa.
Key among the report being considered is the recommendations to encourage both state and non-state actors to collectively fight crime, predominantly herders and farmers clash, ensure holistic engagement with those affected to guide against future occurrences, and provide succor to all victims. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
On a rather cheery note, the Ogun State Police Command has rescued 7 victims of last Thursday's kidnapping incident along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The State Commissioner of Police Bashir Makama disclosed this in Abeokuta. Lakong Agbonde reports.
With the IG's approval for a helicopter to the command, armed with information provided by the public and support by local hunters, the police in Ogun State went after the criminals and rescued the victims.
So it was a 3-day intensive search that we conducted in that bush. And in the process of it, one of the suspected kidnappers was arrested.
The subsequent arrest of one of the suspected kidnappers is an example of community policing model proposed by the federal government to address insecurity.
It entails intelligence-led, kind of information sharing, and also entails that the security of the community is in the hands of every member of the community.
Assuring the people of the command's resolve to tackle criminality, the Commissioner of Police affirmed that effective policing and low-level criminality could be achieved if citizens become active partners to security agencies. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Let's still stay with Lagos, but this time Dotun will lead us.
Thank you, Joseph, and welcome to Lagos. Apapa gridlock narrative is getting better by the day, following a number of measures to decongest the ports in Lagos. All that is needed is patience from the motoring public as the 3-pronged approach adopted by the government and stakeholders is yielding positive results. Paul Omukago has the update.
Wharf Road Apapa is a major access to Tinkan and Apapa ports. Gone are the days when vehicles spend hours as a result of the gridlock. Trucks now access the ports based on their call-up time.
Wahala plenty dey for that time. Now this time you know get wahala.
Then the traffic is so heavy everywhere, rowdy, trailer park here and there. But now the system is very okay.
The traffic situation now in Apana is a little bit better compared to before. The only challenges we have is, I think, is the problem we have with AP Mola. As you can see now, all these trucks are stranded, AP Mola is not working. They have shut us over 2 hours and they are not working.
The reconstruction of Wharf Road is one reason behind the improvement. While more roads like Liverpool are currently undergoing one form of reconstruction or maintenance, a key player in management of traffic and decongestion of port says the plan is to move from short-term to medium-term and then to long-term solution.
The immediate thing was to restore order and to stop the extortion by certain agencies, and this we have been able to do. The Nigerian Ports Authority has made it possible for us to have a manual call-up system. By October, the Apapa and Tinkan ports will be linked with rail. This is the multimodal approach.
The ultimate aim transits Apapa gridlock as government work towards having all the modes of transportation working optimally. In Lagos, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
Nigerian traders in Ghana are facing persecution as their shops have been locked by their Ghanaian counterparts. Although the leadership of both Ghana and Nigerian unions have involved the police and other authorities, the impasse is yet to be resolved. The action, which lasted for more than a week, has grounded business activities at Opera Square in Accra, affecting over 40 shops and other markets where Nigerian traders operate. Speaking on the incident, President of Nigerian Union of Traders in Ghana, Chukwuemeka Naji, expressed frustration and called on the Ghanaian authorities to respect the ECOWAS Free Trade Treaty.
It has been a very old story. So last year, I remember we went to Abuja and protest to the ECOWAS. We also do petition to His Excellency, our President, Muhammad Buhari, and there's a response. Because then they closed over 400 shops and later opened it in the Kumasi magazine. So we thought everything had been okay. But they keep on threatening, giving ultimatums, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 days, 3 days, 72 hours, all this. So it has been a kind of a chronic disease we are managing here.
On the accusation that Nigerians engage in retail trade, contrary to existing Ghanaian laws, the president had this to say.
If the ECOWAS is not working, let us know. After we come from a home, we can go back home and stay. It's not a big deal. It's only that everybody should know his own limit.
Chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabri Erewa, has however called for the protection of the rights of Nigerians in Ghana as both parties are meeting to resolve the issues amicably. This is NTA Network News. More reports after this commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Follow! Kitty. He doesn't want overripe things.
Dudu by nature.
Black is beautiful.
Oh, talk to the
And the baby is black.
Ask
Uche, quickly send me the baby video.
Okay, ma.
Yeah, he's playing.
Oh my goodness. He's loving it. Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Data is oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
I want to change my car to a better one, and I know one make them do me. I hear say company day, with it help me, so I no need worry. So I go to cars 45, them don't help me. Now I'm happy. Everybody see and feel where you want with your car. Buy, sell, swap. Take it to cars 45. Buy, sell, swap. Better value in good time. Buy, sell, swap. All now it's cars 45. Buy, sell, swap.
Cars45.com. Buy, sell, swap.
Migration is not a crime, neither is displacement. Such persons left their homes for different reasons. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons, through its livelihood support program, is empowering persons of concern with various income-generating skills and resources to start up economic activities. Through settlement projects, the Commission is supporting them with tools to rebuild their homes and lives. The future belongs to those who invest in themselves.
I therefore appeal to all persons of concern, that is the asylum seekers, refugees, the returning migrants, and internally displaced persons, not to lose hope, as together we can find durable solutions for a better and more secured future.
This message is from the National Commission for Refugees, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can hit the reach.
You're still watching NTA Network News, and we are back in Abuja. We earlier told you that the Senate has resolved to take over the functions of the Edo State Assembly following the adoption of the report of its ad hoc committee. The Edo State government has just reacted to the Senate resolution, saying the decision is at variance with provisions of the law and doctrine of separation of power. A statement by the secretary to the state government explained that the governor issued a proclamation proclamation letter on June 14, 2019, on which the clerk of the Edo State House of Assembly acted by inaugurating the House on the 17th of June 2019. He said all the disputes relating to the said inauguration are now subject matters of 3 court suits filed by all the parties involved. The government of Edo State therefore appeals to the National Assembly not to bow to excessive political pressure, as it may be prejudice for the Senate to order a fresh proclamation. Well, let's bring you some business news now, and Amina Nujem is here with the very latest. Amina, you're on.
Thank you, Joseph. Government will need to gain more public trust and confidence to ensure efficient service delivery in key sectors of the economy in line with globally acceptable practices. Experts who spoke on NTA government's privatization efforts say it was indeed the right decision, selling off assets that were not yielding positive results to the private sector driven to enable the country retain job and generate revenue through practical means.
To continue to do more of the privatization and from whatever lessons that have been learned to improve the process along the way.
The system to be able to hold people accountable for things that are done, so that when people come in and they collect, they'll be able to even do. People should come forward with integrity, even before they receive and after they have received.
Privatization remains a key component of reform process of structures and economies around the world. At the end of Tuesday's session, the equities market of the Nigerian Stock Exchange reversed the positive trend that was recorded on Monday to close in negative territory. Investors lost 63.25 billion naira as the NSE OSHA index depreciated by 0.47% to close at 27,820.57 basis points. Year-to-date returns minus 11.47%. Investors traded 155 million shares worth 2.230 billion naira in 3,193 deals. As for the top trades, financial institutions were the most active to boost market turnover. Guarantee led with 22 million, followed closely by UBA 21 million shares and Zenith Bank. Jos is our next port of call where Mariam is standing by. Hello, Mariam.
Hello, Amina. It's good to see you. As part of the policies to reduce fragmentation in the delivery of primary healthcare services, a robust healthcare system that involves the integration of all primary healthcare services under one roof is being designed by medical experts as fundamental to achieving universal coverage in the health sector. This is at the 8th Annual Scientific Conference and General Meeting of the Epidemiological Society of Nigeria underway in Jos. Ijoma Ozemena reports.
Fragmentation has been identified as the most significant problem facing primary healthcare services and affects utilization rates as well as indices. The scooping mission under one roof is a policy which involves integration of all primary healthcare services under one authority for proper supervision of activities. The duty of the coalition is to develop an advocacy strategy and messages for speedy implementation and its management in Nigeria.
The framework under the law at the federal level is all right, but states have to make laws and tune into what is happening. Primary care is the answer. State primary care that is functioning, that has a two-way referral system, so that once you enter the primary care system, you have access to the system in the country.
Project director of the program with other speakers highlighted the need to fund healthcare systems by state government for sustenance.
For the sake and benefit of the people of Nigeria, because we cannot afford to continue to lag behind and be sluggish in the implementation of Boundary Under One Roof program.
The policy scooping mission under one roof was approved by the Council of Health in 2011 and has since been implemented in at least 23 states. The Scientific Conference of the Society is the highest policy-making organ where policies on primary health care delivery are formulated. This year's conference has as its theme, enhancing implementation science through epidemiological research. The three-day conference is being attended by members from 36 states of the Federation and FCT. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemina, NTA News.
To meet the water needs of the cantonment and provide the enabling environment to enhance their constitutional role, the Chief of Army Staff has inaugurated some projects within the headquarters of the 3-Division Nigerian Army, Rukuba, Jos. Ekemeren Kanen Laduja has details.
That was the groundbreaking ceremony for the proposed new water treatment plant in the Maxwell-Kobe cantonment. The dam, which has a catchment of 90,000 square meters when completed, will supply 1 million liters of water to the barracks and the neighboring communities. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukuru Buratai, represented, described the project being carried out by the General Officer Commanding of the 3-Division Nigerian Army Headquarters as unprecedented.
Ensure that residents of Rukuba, Maxwell, Kobe Cantonment, Rukuba, and indeed not just the soldiers but the neighboring communities have potable drinking water at the end of this project.
Next was the inauguration of the remodeled Rhino Golf Club and Golf Course, which was first inaugurated in 1992.
The resuscitation of this once moribund Rhino Golf Club further attests to the Chief of Army Staff's belief in sports as a part of tools for achieving his vision of having a professionally responsive Nigerian army.
Other projects inspected were the renovation and building of hostels at the 3-Division Training School, the renovation of residential blocks, as well as worship centers within the 3-Division Nigerian Army Headquarters. From the 3-Division Nigerian Army Headquarters, Rukuba, Ekemeren Kaneng Laduja, NTA News.
That's a wrap from Jos. Back to you, Joseph, for what's left of the news. Have a good evening.
Mariam from our Jos Network Center there. Now, voices for stringent measures to combat the menace get louder. Our correspondent was at the 2019 World Day Against Human Trafficking public lecture, where this was re-echoed. There are lots of stories surrounding the intricacies of human trafficking, yet some still untold. While a number of people are victims, others are merely escapees of such traumas. The latter is the story of this veteran actor, Kenneth Okonkwo, who was born in a refugees camp. No, this isn't a Nollywood storyline. He was actually at the age of being trafficked, he tells me.
So a lot of destinies perish in all those IDP camps. I was just fortunate.
Okonkwo, alongside many here from across Nigeria, are harping on the fact that human trafficking is a horrible crime against humanity and a threat to national security. Apart from commemorating the 2019 World Day Against Human Trafficking, they advocate further necessary actions to win the fight.
The federal government of Nigeria's resolve to tackle this scourge remains unshaken.
I employ every actor in this campaign to reposition its modus operandi with a view to engendering a varied crime prevention mechanism.
Since inception in 2003, NAPTIP has secured 403 convictions, with over 14,000 victims rescued, rehabilitated, and reintegrated back into their various communities.
The fight, everyone here agrees, is far from being over. But they are optimistic that they are not losing. Still to come tonight is Sports Update. Stay with us.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues, and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
The federal government warns athletes and officials against doping at the next month's African Games in Morocco. Kenema Budike is here with detailed on sports update.